Everybody, welcome back to Wake and Bake. I'm Corinne Tobias, and I'm so excited to answer another question of yours. You guys keep them coming at support@wakeandbake.co. I'm really loving answering these. There have been so many that are really interesting and that I didn't even know that you guys needed to know. But there are a few here today that I want to address, and this is one of them. Number 68, okay? How do I quit my dead-end job and make a decent living in the cannabis industry without becoming a bud tender? By the way, I'm way over 40. How do I do it? How do I enter the cannabis industry? What are my options? What can I actually do? What does it actually look like on the ground? So for those of you who maybe live in states where cannabis isn't legal yet, or you live in a state with kind of cruddier medical laws or recreational laws that really haven't created as much opportunity in the industry, you might be looking at states like California and Oregon and Colorado and stuff and like, what can you do? What's going on over there? Or some of you are like, hey, my state is about to go and I really just want to step into it. What can I do? What are my options? So I have made an extensive masterclass for this at the Cannabis Coaching Institute. I'm going to put that in a nutshell for you here. And I talk a lot about this in the presentation for them or for us, I guess. And one thing that I really want to bring on home is that, you don't want to be a green rush grunt. That's what I call it, man. Being a bud tender. No offense to people who are bud tenders. I love bud tenders. I love what you guys are doing. And I really think that you guys have so much potential to grow as an industry and just in general. And some bud tenders are just like excellent resources and just so incredible and so into it. And some people are just there, right? And they're just like, what up? I don't know, my favorite strain is bubblegum lollipop or whatever. And I'm like, oh man, I really wanted to talk to you about this terpene or whatever. And it's, but I know so many people who are looking at this as an industry and like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to trim. I don't want to sit under super fluorescent lights with like gloves on and the whole thing and just like away for like $200 a day. Or at the lowest, I think it was like $387 an hour when people were first starting because they were being paid a piece rate, right, for the pounds that they did. So a lot of people are like, I don't really want to do that. And as far as like growing and stuff, you really do have to have a specific skill set for that. You have to know quite a bit about it. So if you don't have a green thumb, it might not be the thing for you. And so people kind of find themselves a little displaced. Like, what do I do? Do I start my own dispensary? Do I start my own edibles company? Do I do all of that? And I would say, it's just with high regulations and high overhead, those can be complex but totally doable businesses. I hope more people start companies, especially edibles companies, and grow operations that are organic and that, have the health of everybody else and the planet in mind. But they're hard. They're hard to do, you guys. Like, they're very complex businesses that are quite difficult to manage. And if you're just starting out, and you're over 40, maybe that's not something that you want to take on right now. Maybe you don't want to start an entire company, from scratch. That would probably require employees. It would definitely require you hiring a lawyer, probably, I'm guessing, unless you're really well versed. Some states, they won't even let you start cannabis related companies unless you have $150,000 in the bank, which is there's a barrier to entry in some of those things, but you don't want to be making $12 to $15 out an hour as a bud tender, right? So there's this, it's like, what do I do? How do I get into that? So obviously for me, this has taken a couple different paths. I became a content creator. I decided to, make books and write posts and do all that stuff. And I was really kind of focused on edibles and, and health and wellness. And what happened for me there was, I would get these questions from people asking about how to heal something with cannabis or how to work with something or, talk to me about their weight loss and chronic pain journey. And I would send them like, a whole thing of advice and all this stuff. And then, they wouldn't do it. So I was like, shit. And I knew that I still wanted to keep working with cannabis and I knew that I wanted to still work at home. And I definitely knew that I didn't want to work for anybody else. I needed to work for myself. I had been a freelancer for 8 years and that I wanted to make decent money doing what I was doing, right? So I wanted to be able to sustain myself, right? I wanted there to be, an incentive for me to show up, right? Getting paid can be a great part of the incentive. Now I also, and this is so key for me, is I needed to support people. I needed to help people. Some of us just have that thing, right? Where we're just like, I want to help everyone. I want to help. Like as soon as, especially if you've experienced transformation yourself, and especially if it's with cannabis, you're like, holy shit, you guys. And you just want to tell everybody, and you want to help everybody, and you want them to, be able to experience their full potential. It's like, it's kind of a no-brainer when you're experiencing your own transformation. And so what kind of came out of that, I became a health coach. I became certified as a health coach. And I was like, well, how do I really build cannabis into this? And so I kind of developed and worked the program, and I tested it and did all of that stuff. It was awesome. It was great. It was literally the best thing I'd ever tried. We had a new student in today who was like, I tried all this stuff. I'm a clinical herbalist and I work with cannabis, and like, I can't get people to like do the stuff that I'm telling them to do. And I was like, oh, you're going to love this, because coaching is so great, because what you do as a coach is you really offer the support and accountability for people to make consistent changes over time. And so obviously what I'm going to say to you is that if that kind of work calls to you, that being a cannabis coach is just such an awesome option. We had some other questions like, what's the quickest way to become a cannabis coach? What about dosage? How do you like help people with dosage? The other one just said like, I want to be a cannabis coach. And it's not really a question. Or how do I become a cannabis coach? There it is. That's a question. So what I would say to you is, if you want to become a cannabis coach, that's something that I developed a training program for. If you're interested in doing that kind of thing, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, it's really awesome. We've done some really exciting stuff that nobody else is offering. So we have a done for you cannabis coaching program. You go through a cannabis coaching intensive where you get to really, work with another coach in training to up-level your own health and to experience what it's like on the other side of the coaching relationship. And it's a really dynamic program that we are really proud of. We also have, the cannabis deep dives and this, the cannabis and lifestyle, our orientation, which is really like kind of like productivity and health minded. It's really cool. So we really support people on really making that journey a lot easier, because it took me so much time, and I spent like, like $30,000-$40,000 in like figuring out and mistakes and programs that I probably didn't need to sign up for or do, and lawyer fees and all of this other stuff. And so we've just made it really simple. We also add a mentorship component because we think that's super important. When I became a health coach and then I got out, I was struggling really hard until I found my mentor, Nikki Wells, and she's part of our program now because I tucked her into it. So she's an incredible mindset coach, and when you're first getting started, there's just like nothing better than having mentors there that have your back, that are ready to show you the way. So it's not just a training program. We have weekly calls. You have graduate mentors that support you throughout the program, and you can learn how to be a cannabis coach in as little as 4 months, and you can be working in as little as 2. If you already have a practice or something that you're doing, you can incorporate this all into your practice, I think by month 2. So we really streamlined the process so that you don't have to do like however long it took me to get my shit together. So that's what I would say. I think it's a great option. I love doing this work. I really love coaching, and I love cannabis coaching. And I really love helping people transform their health and their lifestyles. I think it's awesome. So that's what I would say. And that's the answer to those other 2 questions. How do I become a cannabis coach? What's the easiest way? I really think it's with us. So that's just I'm not trying to sell you on anything. I just really think we have a dope program. Plus we also have these 3 bonuses. We do though, and they're awesome. The first one is the Cannabis Business Masterclass, where we teach you how to set up a business if you've never done that before. It's a little bit different when you're working with an ancillary cannabis business than it is with some other kinds of businesses, right? If you're just a health coach, it's a little bit different. If you're a cannabis coach, there are a couple of things you have to keep in mind so that everything is right, and you make sure that you're protected, legally. And what's the other one? The second bonus is this advanced client attraction training that we do, where we really show you how to connect with people who want to work with you, which is just really exciting to add that to a cannabis training. It's like really, really necessary right now, because we really need to, be getting the word out, you guys, so we show you how to attract people who want to work with you. It's that simple. And then the third one, which is my favorite, and that's the dispensary outreach program, where we show you how to partner with dispensaries. So, people are walking into dispensaries all the time with stuff that they need help with, and typically bud tenders don't have the time, and sometimes they don't even have the knowledge or experience to be able to help someone. So it's really a great way for you to incentivize dispensary owners and bud tenders to refer you in your program when someone needs your help. So it's like it's really dynamic, because you can start that kind of business, use the dispensary program. If you live in a state with dispensaries, you can contact, dispensaries from other states. If you live in a state with not so great dispensaries, and you can partner with them as well and do your work on the phone. Anyway, well, we can talk you through all of that, as part of the thing, but it's just so great because you don't have to have this huge online following. You don't have to have 40,000, Instagram followers to be able to, attract clients. So that's what we all want. We all want to be helping people. We want to be working. We want to have thriving businesses. So we show you how to do that as part of the master classes. That module also has a training on how to give talks, which is so key because so many of you and so many of our students really want to be out there talking about it. You want to be like standing up here with a thing on a podium and like, all right, guys, let's do it, right? So we wanted you guys to be able to give talks, but we didn't want you guys giving that same damn boring talk about the damn endocannabinoid system. I don't think I'm allowed to cuss on this, so maybe I'll have to bleep it out. But oh my God, how many of you have sat through a boring endocannabinoid system lecture? It's like, come on. So we teach you how to give engaging talks that really, again, help people who need your help, like energize them to be like, hey, I could work with you, right? So giving talks that, really help you get clients and help you get people interested, right? That's really important. So that's my answer to that question. I hope you guys have a great day. Let me know if you have any other questions. You can send them to support@wakeandbake.co, or you can leave them below. I look forward to seeing you later. Bye-bye.